Hello, I'm Scott Williford, Diversionary Theater's Board President. And before we get started, we would like to acknowledge, as we always do, that our theater resides on the land of Ipai Tipai, also known as the Kumeyaay Nation. We pay respect to the many elders and to the tribe of this land, both past, present, and future. We acknowledge the waves of colonization that have oppressed these nations, and the treaties were signed and then broken by the United States, specifically our local Treaty of Santa Isabel. So now it's my pleasure to welcome our wonderful diversionary community on this milestone day. It's truly a proud day for me to look squarely into a secure new future for our theater. But I'm also reflecting back on 2014, when I joined the board, at a really opportune time when we were doing our final selection for a new executive artistic director that would be Matt Morrow. 2014 was the start of an exciting new era for us at Diversionary. And since then, we've doubled the size of our budget and our board of trustees. It's been a time where we've grown our arts education offerings to 6 programs for everyone from teens to seniors. And with 29 Theater Critics Award nominations just in the last 4 years, we've certainly punctuated our 4th decade with many new historical highlights. In fact, the People's Stage, as we were dubbed in an article last year, has long been a place for telling his story, her story, their story, and all of our stories. In my own story, when I came to San Diego in the early 1980s, I was struggling to come to grips with my own authentic self. It was a very difficult time for me. But when I broke through that fear, I was lucky to find places like Diversionary Theater, formed in the pandemic of its time as a safe place for our community to tell the stories about the AIDS crisis, stories that defined us and stories that no one else would tell at that time. And for decades, Diversionary Theater has been a place for me to be myself, to see myself in the panoply of memorable and diverse characters that have come to life in our little theater over those 35 years. Behind me is a signed poster from our 2017 production, Georgette Kelly's Ballast. My husband Grant and I were honored to be part of sponsoring this compelling and ambitious show that both cast and beautifully portrayed trans characters in a way I think was never seen before on a San Diego stage. The Craig Knoll Awards rewarded us with Outstanding New Play that year, just one of our many firsts, but I know not the last that Diversionary will be part of. And now I'm brimming with pride to announce that we are kicking off the next phase of the Diversionary story. This project, called Securing Our Future, began in 2019 with a $2 million goal to reimagine and revamp Diversionary Theater for years to come. The project will provide a beautiful but very necessary set of upgrades to all of our intimate spaces that are used by our patrons, our actors, and our staff. But as many of you know, about a year ago now, when we were just starting to gain momentum with this most ambitious development project ever, we were hit with the harsh reality of COVID that almost stopped us in our tracks. And we did pause. Our board and staff regrouped and reevaluated our priorities while checking the pulse and, while we were at it, the temperature of our community. When the dust settled, we decided to expand our vision just a little bit more to a $2.5 million goal that would integrate the latest health and safety best practices into our design. And I'm happy to announce today that we go public having reached almost 85% of that goal. 2020 seems like it was an endless string of setbacks in the world. We pushed through it all and found that we were not just able to adapt, but to thrive on the change and the opportunity that we found in front of us during this dark year for theater. So thank you again for coming and being part of this Build Back Better energy that promises an exciting reemergence for Diversionary Theater in 2021.
Thank you, Matt and Scott, for inviting me to say a few words about why Janice and I are supporting the Capital Campaign for Diversionary Theater. I hope that everyone who's watching knows that Diversionary is the third oldest LGBT theater in the country. Not only is it a cultural asset for San Diego, it's a cultural asset for all LGBT people across the country. That this theater has survived for over 30 years is a testament to the quality of the work and the productions that the theater produces. And it's also a commitment from the LGBT community to support it. We all know that the experience of going to the theater isn't equivalent to the quality of the productions. The bathrooms need refreshing, the staircase is a little unsteady. There are a lot of things that could be just gently improved. But to create this asset, keep this asset for another 30 years, it needs a major remodel. And that is why we are happy to fund it. This is something that can be a legacy of our generation to the next. We won't be here 30 years from now, but we sure hope that there's a community of LGBT people supporting diversionary theater into the decades to come. So we're pleased to provide some support, and we're inviting everyone who's watching. If you haven't already donated to the Capital Campaign, please do so. Thank you.
Hi, and welcome to this amazing moment in Diversionary Theater's history. I'm Skylar Sullivan, Director of Arts Education and Outreach, and I'm so pleased that so many of you are here to share this day with us today. It's been a tough year, as we have moved all of our programs online, but we are still committed to providing our life-saving programs to our schools and our community. The teaching artists and I stand by our anti-racism plan, and we'll be integrating that into all of our curriculum moving forward. I'd like to share with you a few snippets from some of our work that we've done throughout the years and through COVID. First up, Teenversionary from last fall, where we welcomed 12 LGBTQ and allied teens into an online space to work on the new musical, Cancelled, by Kit Yan and Melissa Lee, which we presented live. In Cancelled, a scandal breaks out in a progressive high school, and the officers of their gay-straight alliance are thrown into chaos due to a transphobic tweet. You'll see the cast singing our first song, A Weirdo Like Me, an anthem that proves that strength really does lie in numbers and the importance of finding your own community. Please help me welcome the cast of Teenversionary and Cancelled, singing A Weirdo Like Me.
To be in this position. A weirdo like me likes hugs more than ammunition. A weirdo like me finds himself suddenly forced to lead. But how can I speak for them if I don't even know what I need? And that's why everybody out there who's a weirdo like me. hurts us and beat us down, and everybody out there who's a weirdo like me.
We have to stick together and agree we're always right.
We have to be united, right, to have a chance to win this fight.
They police our choices, they police our looks, they leave us off the history books. Survival means we can't be wrong, so join together and sing along. And that's why we're standing by our judgment. 'Cause if we cry, the haters will attack. No regrets, we've made our choice, so someday soon we might rejoice. Everybody out there who's a weirdo like me.
Thank you, Kit and Melissa, for sharing your incredible musical with us. Next up, the Stonewall Salon. In this program, older adults come and work with us to create original stories based on their experience. Here are a few selections from some of the Stonewall casts from across the years. Enjoy.
There is a dream which comes to me each night, a dream of love and peace across the earth, concern of man for one another's plight, and judgment of each man on his own worth. And in this dream, each man does raise his head to see his fellow man through open eyes. No hate, no pride, no greed, no lust. Instead, respect from one and all becomes the prize. And should man ask his fate to bless his home, what more could fate give than that which it has? A world where home is anywhere you roam, a world where peace and love forever last. No matter how far off this all may seem, I'll wait for it and hope and love and dream.
I had always liked kids from a distance. But I knew that the woman I was in love with wanted to have children, so when we said I do back in 1993, I knew that kids would be part of our future. But I did not know that it would turn out to be as frightening and scary as it did. Our kid was born at 28 weeks, weighing 1 pound, 7 ounces. And it still hurts just to say those words. Both he and my wife almost died, which meant that I was at the hospital every day, and every day that I went to the hospital, I didn't know if I'd be let past the desk, the gate, to see my wife and kid, because I had no legally recognized relationship with either one of them.
My story is about the past 40 years of my life. It begins by getting married and starting a family. After all, isn't that what all normal people do? And it would help extinguish my homosexual desires. After 10 years of marriage, my wife and I divorced. My ex-wife was focused on finding husband number 2, so my 2 boys came to live with me. I knew I would be spending considerable time in the closet. It was about this time I came across a book titled Where the Blue Begins. It's about someone going on a journey. It begins with a poem. This is the first stanza. I am not free, and it may be that life is too tight around my shins. For unlike you, I can't break through a truant where the blue begins. This summed up my feelings about putting my life on hold for my children, and someday finding where my blue begins.
My husband had passed 5 years earlier when I saw an internet ad which read, looking for professional women 40 and over who like fine dining in San Diego for friendship and more. I like fine dining, so I replied and asked where the next restaurant meetup would be. A week later, I'm stepping into the elevator to go upstairs to Martini's restaurant. In the elevator, two women dressed in black leather jackets and comfortable shoes, also going up to Martini's. Lesbians, I thought, but after all, I was in Hillcrest. As we stepped out of the elevator, and I saw the group of women in the restaurant, suddenly the internet ad boldly reappeared in my head. How naive, how stupid could I have been to think that the more in friendship and more meant going shopping or for tea. Before I could step back into the elevator, a woman had approached me and she said, "Hi, I'm Rose," and extended her hand. Trying desperately not to look as stupid as I felt, I said, "Hi, I'm June," and I shook her hand. That handshake sealed my fate. A year later, I'm their token straight woman on the board of a lesbian not-for-profit organization. And also where I met my wife, Kathy.
Thank you, Stonewallers. And be sure to put March 5th on your calendars because we have a new cohort of the Stonewall Salon who is in rehearsal right now, and they will be presenting their new stories on March 5th. All of these programs are presented free of charge, and we feel strongly that we'd like to remove even more barriers of access to our programs. What's this? I'm being told that we have a brand new arts education program. A new playwriting program for LGBTQ teens, where we're teaming up with off-Broadway theater company Rattlestick Playwrights Theater in New York City. And with the acclaimed playwright, Basil Kremendall, we'll be providing a whole new program just for LGBTQ teens to unlock the stories within. Thank you for supporting Diversionary over the years as you make all of these programs come alive with your support. We couldn't do it without you. And I know we're all looking forward to the time when we can be together again. So thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Beth Kind, and I'm a trustee with the theater, and I'm also the co-chair, along with Matt Graber, of our Safety and Communications Task Force. And what I'd like to share with you today are 4 areas of risk mitigation that we're building into the remodel project. And the first area that we're implementing is providing filtration to our air conditioning systems. And we'll be doing that using a filter that removes particles that are at and above 3 microns in diameter. And we've picked that filter for the following reason, that's the particle level size that the Centers for Disease Control has determined to be the smallest particles that result from us talking, singing, sneezing, laughing, all those great things that we do. And it's actually the particle size standard that's used in testing masks. So that's the size we'll be using to filter the air that's supplied to the theater and air that returns to the air handler from the theater. So basically, we're scrubbing the air constantly as you're sitting there enjoying a performance. The second area that we'll be implementing is what's called an ionization system that will be in the ductwork of the supply air. And what happens is we have an electrical charge that modifies compounds in the air, like oxygen and water vapor. And what that does is it gives negative and positive charges to those ions, and that creates attraction of particles to each other. And the particles build and build and build, and they get heavier and heavier and heavier, and they drop out of the atmosphere. The second thing the ionization system does, those chemical reactions create reactive oxygen species and hydroxy radicals. And these are very toxic to microorganisms, but not to people. So they're very effective against bacteria, mold, and viral particles. And again, this will be happening to the air as it's circulated throughout the space. The third area that we'll be using is incorporating antimicrobial surfaces for high-touch areas. Things like counters, railings, doors, restrooms. There's a whole new market of paints and coatings that contain antimicrobial agents. Things like silver ions. We'll also be using touchless restroom fixtures, soap dispensers, towel dispensers, to turn the water on, like you see in restaurants. And then lastly, we'll be enforcing traditional precautions that we've all become painfully used to. These guys. And also, we'll be using a temperature scanner to rapidly get our patrons into the theater to start the party. So again, I'm really thankful that you're here today, and we would love to have you be our partners in this project. Thank you so much.
Hello, I'm Jenny Case, Managing Director of Diversionary Theater.
My name is Matt Morrow, the Executive Artistic Director of Diversionary Theater. Thank you for joining us today. This event is the culmination of almost 2 years of hard work by our staff, board, and an army of volunteers who have generously donated their time and financial resources to building and securing the future of Diversionary Theater. Your time, energy, and unwavering belief in our vision has buoyed us through the darkest chapter of COVID-19.
This is a monumental moment for our small yet mighty theater. It is rare for an intimate theater such as ours to take such a bold organizational as well as financial step. But then again, Diversionary is rare, and it has always been brave. No other theater in our community does what Diversionary does to provide an inspiring and thought-provoking theatrical platform to explore complex and diverse LGBTQ stories, which influence the larger cultural discussion.
We support the next generation of LGBTQ voices, producing new work in a dynamic and inclusive environment that celebrates and preserves our unique culture. We do this by providing a safe space for all of San Diego to gather and commune around stories of our LGBTQ community. Although COVID-19 has caused us to reevaluate what a safe space means.
We are especially excited that we have been able to incorporate a multitude of safety measures in response to the COVID-19 pandemic into our new design. When we reopen, our community will have a peace of mind that Diversionary is upholding its legacy of offering a safe space for all.
This project would simply not be possible without two patrons who led by example and stood up early in the campaign just as COVID-19 threatened to shutter our renovation plans. Rob Granite and Al Mazer generously donated a major challenge matching gift last June 2020. Their gift billowed our sails and inspired our community to give, bringing us to this milestone for our theater.
For this reason, we are proud to announce that the Diversionary Central Performance Space will now be known as the Robert L. Granite and Alfred J. Mazer Main Stage. Thank you, Rob and Al, for your love, leadership, and generosity. You are and will always be our greatest heroes.
This past year has also caused us to reevaluate all of our practices relative to the social justice movement. As an LGBTQ theater, Diversionary believes in the power and deep need for intersectionality to remedy the rampant and systemic racism in our industry and country as a whole. Diversionary is here to say that Black Lives Matter, today and every day. There is no asterisk to this statement.
As our industry begins to reemerge from the pandemic, Diversionary will double down on our work in equity, diversity, and inclusion, and continue to evolve our anti-racism action plan. For more information on our evolving work to create a more just and equitable theater industry, please see our action plan at diversionary.org.
As we unveil our Securing Our Future renovation plans for you, it's important to keep in mind that this project is about more than renovating our building and acquiring more comfortable digs.
It's about creating a safe and inspiring space for our community to come together and experience the story of who we are, It's about making sure that our historic institution has what it needs to not only survive, but to thrive.
This project is meant to bridge and sustain Diversionary for its next 35 years and beyond. Founding trustee and former artistic director Rule Olin, for whom we've renamed our Black Box Theater the Rule K. Olin New Play Development Center, said it best when he was quoted in an article in the LA Times. The sense of urgency is just as relevant today and tomorrow as it was yesterday and throughout our origin story. This theater is our home, and it has a soul.
We have produced over 160 productions since our inception, launching the careers of numerous LGBTQ playwrights and musical theater writers. We not only do this for the sake of our LGBT community, we do this as a benefit for the entire theater community as a whole. No one pioneers powerful art better than LGBT artists.
Let's give you a sample of this right now. We have two powerhouse performances lined up for you today. Craig Noel Award winners Jaye Wilson and Cashae Monya singing Origin of Love from our production of Hedwig and the Angry Inch and Home from The Wiz. Please enjoy.
The earth was too flat, and clouds made a fire, and mountains stretched up to the sky, sometimes higher. Folks roamed the earth like big rolling cakes. They had two sets of arms, they had two sets of legs, they had two faces peering out of one giant head, so they could watch all around them as they talked while they read, and they never knew nothing of love. It was before the origin of love, the origin of love, the origin of love, the origin of love. And there were three sexes then, one that looked like two men glued up back to back, the children of the sun. Similar in shape and girth were the children of the earth. They looked like two girls rolled up in one. And the children of the moon were like a fork shoved on a spoon. They were part sun, part earth, part daughter, part son. Oh, the origin of love. Gods grew quite scared of our strength and defiance, and Thor said, I'm gonna kill them all with my hammer, like I killed the giants. But Zeus said, no, you better let me use my lightning like scissors, like I cut the legs off the whales, dinosaurs and lizards. And then he grabbed up some bolts and he let out a laugh, said I'll split 'em right down the middle, gonna cut 'em right up in half. And then storm clouds gathered above into great balls of fire. And then fire shot down from the sky in bolts like shining blades of a knife. And it ripped right through the flesh of the children of the sun and the moon and the earth. And some Indian god sewed the wound up to a hole, put it round on our bellies to remind us the price we paid. And Osiris and the gods of the Nile gathered up a big storm to blow a hurricane, to scatter us away in a flood of wind and rain, and a sea of tidal waves to wash us all away. And if we don't behave, they'll cut us down again, and we'll be hopping round on one foot and looking through one eye. last time I saw you, we had just split in two. You were looking at me, I was looking at you. You had a way so familiar, I could not recognize, 'cause you had blood on your face. I had blood in my eyes, but I could tell by your expression that the pain down in your soul was the same as the one down in mine. That's the pain that cuts a straight line down through the heart. We call it love. We wrapped our arms around each other, tried to shove ourselves back together. We were making love, making love. It was a cold, dark evening such a long time ago, when by the mighty hand of Jove, it was the sad story how we became lonely, too late creatures. The story of the origin of love. That's the origin of love. The origin of love. The origin of love. The origin of love. The origin of love.
When I think of home, I think of a place where there's love overflowing. I wish I was home, I wish I was back there with the things I've been knowing. Wind that makes the tall grass bend into leaning. Suddenly the raindrops that fall have a meaning, sprinkling the sea, makes it all clean. Maybe there's a chance for me to go back, now that I've had some direction. Woo! It sure would be nice to be back home where there's love and affection. And just maybe I can convince time to slow up, giving me enough time in my life to grow up. Time, be my friend. Let me start again. But I still know where I'm going. I have had my mind spun around in space, and yet I've watched it grow. And if you're listening, God, please don't make things hard to know if we should believe the things that we see. Tell us, should we try to stay? Should we run away? Or is it better just to let things be? Living here in this brand new world, like the fantasy. But it's taught me to love, so it's real, 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 real to me. And I've learned
Founded in 1986, Diversionary Theater is the third oldest LGBT theater in the nation, producing plays and musicals and developing new works that explore the issues, characters, and stories of the LGBT community in all its complexity and diversity. Diversionary has been a safe space on Park Boulevard in University Heights, San Diego for over 20 years.
The company ranks as one of the finest theaters in Southern California.
Diversionary is home to us.
It's a safe space for the LGBTQ community. And the art? Well, it's world class.
Additionally, Diversionary offers a total of 7 arts education programs serving the entire range of San Diego's population from elementary school students to senior citizens. All of our arts education programs are offered 100% free of charge for our community. In November 2019, Diversionary launched the Securing Our Future campaign, an innovative theater enhancement and safety initiative to substantially renovate Diversionary's aging facility while incorporating safety and security features in response to COVID-19. Renovations are currently underway to build back better our small yet mighty theater.
We are so honored and thrilled and proud that we're able to support this campaign to help create a newer, modern, clean, safe space that Diversionary can continue to tell our stories for years and decades to come in our new home.
Now, join us as we review the renovation plans from Safdie Rubinas Architects for our new Diversionary Theater. Welcome to the new Diversionary Theater, coming summer 2021. Renovations include a new marquee, signage, and digital display, complete with new LED lighting streetside to increase our visibility in the University Heights community. As we enter the Paula Talal patio, you can see the wall between the outdoor patio and lounge has been replaced by a sliding glass door to create a flexible and dynamic indoor-outdoor experience. Note the Securing Our Future donor wall as we enter on the right. The new cabaret space features a small stage and grand piano for piano bar nights and other lively special events. The new Stuart Schwartz and Carl Peterson box office is your first stop before pulling up to the bar. The bar itself and walls on either side of the stage have embedded images and news articles of our local and national LGBTQ community to memorialize the gay bar as a sacred safe space where our movement coalesced. A fun feature of the bar is when you look at it from one direction, the lit-up wall behind it reads, "Ye Olde Gay Bar." Traveling down the bar towards the P.K. Coleman and Janice Montel administrative offices, from this perspective, the lit-up wall behind the bar reads, "You're in the right place." Next up, we zoom up the Dr. Mark Niblack and Las Patronas Foundation staircase, now ascending from the patio instead of the sidewalk, towards the Robert L. Granite and Alfred J. Mazer main stage. But first, let's have a peek in our newly renovated, all gender-neutral restrooms. Kind of like walking inside a disco ball, right? And now into our newly renovated Robert L. Granite and Alfred J. Mazer main stage. Our new seating playfully reinforces our branding while paying homage to our pride rainbow. These new leatherette and foam seats are larger, more comfortable, and easy to clean. The stage itself is also growing in size by approximately 3 feet. Backstage is lined with historical posters to honor Diversionary's rich history. Our newly renovated dressing rooms are more comfortable for our actors, and its new restroom, not seen here, is also a major upgrade to better support our artists. In the breezeway, we approach the new Rule K. Olin New Play Development Center, where all the theatrical magic happens at Diversionary. This quote from Rule is emblazoned on the wall as a reminder to all who work at Diversionary of the sacred space we are inhabiting. The new Rule K. Olin New Play Development Center is completed with new dressing rooms and is used for rehearsals, workshops, and readings, as well as for other San Diego theaters to use for rehearsal and production. The finale to our visit is the Randy Clark and Tom Maddox Education Center, which is the headquarters for all of our arts education planning and development, as well as a shared resource space for Lambda Archives. Thank you for visiting our new Diversionary Theater. We look forward to hosting you and the rest of our community soon after renovation is complete this summer 2021.
I give to Diversionary because not only are the arts important to me, but the untold stories of the LGBTQ community are incredibly important to me and need and deserve to be told.
Because Diversionary is our home. I like the art, I like the work, and I like the purpose. We make commitments and we make actions.
That feeling of home, of being in a place where it was safe to be utterly myself.
In 2019, I became a member of the Stonewall Salon. It was a wonderful experience. These people have been helpful and supportive to me in my process of coming out.
Our education programs are great. Hundreds of kids touched by Diversionary. I'm just excited about what we're doing in that realm, as well as the things that we do on the stage.
You know, we've really come a long way in 30 years.
Now that the theater is engaged in a capital campaign, I feel it's even more important, especially for a younger generation, to have a safe and inspirational place to both make and experience art. That's why I give to Diversionary Theater.
I'm proud to serve on the board of Diversionary. Our shows just keep getting better, and with plans for our new home and expanded programs, it's the perfect time for you to join me in investing your contributed arts dollars to this exciting company as it reveals its new goals for the future.
Please join us.
Thank you for considering supporting Diversionary. I hope you'll join me.
Friends, thank you so much for being with us this afternoon to learn about this exciting new chapter for Diversionary Theater. I'm sure many of you have questions. Please join us after we sign off here for a Zoom Q&A and special toast to celebrate. Please see the link in the chat and in the description below to join us. But first, I have yet another really big announcement to make. Decade sponsor Joanne Clark has generously pledged $150,000 as a matching gift to our campaign. Any gift made this spring will be matched dollar for dollar by Joanne. Joanne Clark, you never cease to amaze me with your generosity and love. Thank you. Perhaps some of you are wondering, how can I donate to this exciting endeavor for Diversionary Theater? Or at least I hope you're asking that. If you're interested in donating or participating, please email our amazing community services manager, LB Lujan, at lb@diversionary.org, and we will be in touch. Throughout this spring, we will also be keeping you up to date on our campaign progress and new ways for you, our community, to participate as we move towards reopening summer 2021. Please also feel free to check out diversionary.org/future for updates and more information as well. We cannot wait to have a toast with you in person in our Austin and Joanne Clark Cabaret and share a profound artistic experience in our Robert L. Granite and Alfred J. Mazer main stage. COVID be damned, we are coming back stronger than ever, thanks to the love and ferocious generosity of you, our community. Before we go, the staff of Diversionary also have a few words for you. After that, please join us for a Q&A and a virtual toast on Zoom by clicking that link below. See you soon.
Thank you for being a friend. Travel down the road and back again. Your heart is true, and here's a special message for you. When we throw a party, when COVID times are finally through, you will see all of our community being fabulous and free. Thank you for being a friend.
I got an attitude of gratitude of the heaviest magnitude, and I'm just passing through to say thank you.
From the bottom of our collective heart here at Diversionary Theater, thank you for your love and support. We love you right back. See you soon.
Thank you all for your love and support over the years, especially during COVID. I hope everyone is healthy and safe. Can't wait to see you all again.
I mean, you all know that you mean the world to us, right? Because you do. Thank you.
Hey! Thank you so much for all of your love and support.
Thank you for your love and support.
Thank you so much. I cannot wait to be back together with you in person. This new building is going to be so much fun. We're gonna have a blast together. Love you. See you soon. Mwah.
Thank you for your love and support.
Hey everybody, it's me, Daryl, coming to you from inside Diversionary's new bar. Well, not quite yet, but very soon. Thank you everybody for your love and support through the years. It's meant a lot to the theater. It's meant a lot to me personally. I've known you guys all for many years, and I look forward to seeing you many more years in our new bar. Drinks!
Hi, my name's Andrea Augusto, and I'm the Artistic Fellow at Diversionary Theater, and I just gotta say thank you. Thank you so much for your support and everything that you've done for Diversionary and allowing me also to be a part of the Diversionary family. I am so excited, and I'm looking forward to all of the beautiful stories that we're going to tell because of you. Thank you.